Hello, my name is Jason McDuffie. This video is a presentation for my term project for human-computer interaction at Kean University. The subject of my research is the evaluation of the Tasks Android app on a tablet and to compare the touch level model to how long it takes for real and experienced users. Tasks is a to-do list app for Android with several features, such as setting the time, making a task repeat, setting the task priority, labels, alarms, and several other features. Each of these adds complexity that needs to be considered in evaluating how usable this app is. The motivation for this research is that people use tablets differently from their smartphones. For example, people will use tablets in a more stationary environment, such as in the living room, whereas mobiles will be more likely to be used outside the house. And furthermore, the plasticity of the interface, or how the interface changes with different size screens, needs to be considered to the designer. While tablets have been studied in helping children and elders use technology, there is not a large body of research that directly contrasts tablets to smartphones. There is a bit of research. For example, it's been found that people will use tablets later in the day on weekends than on weekdays. So in terms of user behavior, there is a bit of research there. The basis of my research is the touch level model, which is an adaptation of the keystroke level model for touch devices. However, there is not enough empirical research regarding the exact time of operations, so for our purposes we will use the keystroke level model analogs. There's another issue regarding the use of touch level model. TLM, like KLM, assumes expert level users who are familiar with the app. However, my user testing is with those not exposed to the app. Nonetheless, I believe it is useful to see where users take the most time learning. The hypothesis is that the touch level model time can be scaled by a constant factor to predict how long new users will take for each task. If this constant factor varies by more than plus or minus 10%, the hypothesis will be rejected. 10 Kean University students were studied and asked to perform 6 actions with the Tasks app. The hypothesis was rejected. On average, users required 4.23 times as much time as the touch level model suggested. In the best and worst case, however, this was deviated from by more than 40%. You can see in the case of do laundry, it was by a factor of 2.39. And in the case of having do laundry repeat, it was a factor of 6.02. So, while all the others are within the ballpark of, plus or minus 25%, these are pretty severe. So we have to reject the hypothesis. In conclusion, users tended to struggle with finding out how to save a task, and the repeat task feature may be too complex that it takes users too long a time to understand. There will be a demonstration soon explaining that. Here are some caveats to consider. We did not compare the results to a smartphone interface, which users may have interacted with differently. Also, the touch level model times were just the keystroke level model times adapted for a touch interface, and those times may not have been valid. Future studies should address these two issues, especially as touch level model is given more empirical testing to understand how long each of these operations take. Now I will demonstrate the two issues that I just brought up. First, when adding a task, users had trouble locating the save icon, which is up here. It's a floppy disk icon, fairly conventional. Very consistently, users would scroll to the bottom, expecting to find something, but there's nothing at the bottom. The save icon's up here. In response, users did one of three things. After going to the bottom, eventually they located the save icon. The second thing is some users either asked me, is it saved, or asked me where the icon is. Basically, they gave up. And the third thing that 2 users actually did was hit this plus button, which adds a new task. Incidentally, it does save the current task, so I did count that as completing the action, but it's not really the expected way. That's the first issue. The second one is this. When looking at making a task repeat, what some users did after seeing these options is that you have every quantity and then period of time. So the faster way would be to say every 1 weeks. But what a few users did was hit this and go up to 7 to make it 7 days. So I have 2 suggestions for this. For the first issue, the save icon, I simply suggest that in addition to this, that at the bottom there's some kind of confirmation users can hit, and it would do the exact same thing as the save icon. My second suggestion is to combine this quantity and this period of time option so that instead of saying every 1 days and go up to 7, it would automatically, this would basically be something you scroll, and it would go from a period of days to a period of weeks. That way, there's not 2 areas users have to search to get the period of time they want.